Okay, guys, there's been some issues in regards to the enclosure that I've supplied for the Year 10 electronics project. Old Town's had some issues. It just can't cram in all those components. And the enclosure, although the width and the length is all right, the depth of it, or the height, I suppose you'd say, is too small. So, what I've suggested is I'm going to create for you an enclosure or the sides of an enclosure, which I'm going to 3D print, and therefore you can alter the height of it. And therefore, if there is not enough room in your enclosure, you can put another, I don't know, 20 centimeters on, 20 millimeters on or something, and it will be suitable. So to do that, I'm going to base everything on the original enclosure, apart from I'm going to make it 1 millimeter wider or bigger all the way around. And so, opposed to it being 150 by 100, it's going to be 152 by 102. Um, we're going to use Autodesk Inventor to do this. I'm not very good at this program. I can sort of muddle my way through, but you're going to have to bear with me. I'm not as slick as Mr. Roberts or Mr. Inchley or Miss Crawford or probably Mr. Bungay or probably Mr. Vaughan. But, I will probably get there in the end. To be honest with you, I don't really know what to do from this page, but I think we press one of these and I think we go to part. This is a big old program, and so it takes a little time for it to do stuff. You can see down on the bottom there, it's sort of loading something up. I'm just hoping it's going to take me to the right page. It seems to be moving. Yeah, we seem to be getting somewhere. One of the things that it won't be set on at the moment is millimeters, unless you've gone about it a different way and selected millimeters at the beginning, which I probably should have done. One way you can do that is if you go to, I think it's tools, and then I think it's document settings. I then think you can go to units and you can see we're in inches. So we're going to go to millimeters and make sure that we're drawing in millimeters. Otherwise, everything's going to be imperial and it's all going to be too big. So what do we have? We have a program which draws 2D images and then extrudes them to make 3D shapes, volume. And you can do that in a positive way. So you can add to things or you can take away from things. And that's basically it. It's really that easy. Saying that, it's very, very complex as well. But the way I use it is in the most rudimentary of ways. And so let's go through that and I can teach you sort of the ways I go about doing things. Right, first of all, we're going to start with 3D model. And so we're going to start by producing that 2D sketch. Here we go, 2D, and you can come up with the 3 different planes, okay? We're going to be looking at this one, and that is the plan. Oh, sorry, this one here. That one looking down, which is a plan. And about this time, what I should do is click on this, and I'm all nice and prepared. And this is what we're going to be making. We're going to be making a loop, effectively, that we can put a control panel on the top and a base on the bottom, and inside that we can put all of our electronics. Anything else to say? This is going to be screwed on, I suppose. We've got 4 holes in it. You can see the 4 holes, which a screw is going to go through a clearance hole on your piece of acrylic or your control panel, and that will screw that into position. I think it's got a little radius on the outside here, which will go through. I think it's got a little radius on the inside, but it really is based on the enclosure that you were given. It will probably end up being a tiny bit smaller inside, but because it's deeper, I think it will be suitable for all of your products if you want it. Just looking up here, we can see a few things. We can see the extreme dimensions, 152 by 102. We can see the wall thickness, 3 millimeters, that wall there, and then we've got a step down, which you might not be able to completely visualize at the moment. That's another 3. So the width of those, that step down is also 3 millimeters because that's the width of a piece of acrylic. We've got these anchor holes, which are in the same place as that on that piece of over that enclosure. We should have a tiny little radius on the inside here. We should have a tiny little radius on the outside there, as I said before. But I should have all my dimensions. The other thing we should say, the location of that hole there, if you were to follow that that line down and follow that inside line there, that would fall exactly in the axis point or the middle of that hole. And then you need to come 5 millimeters out to provide the radius there. Okay. All right. With all that in mind, let's get going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this plane first of all. I'm now going to be drawing my first shape, which was 102 by 152. Unlike Texsoft, you can just write your dimensions in. So presently I'm doing the height there, so it's on 10.156. I'm going to put 102 in there. I'm then going to press tab and I'm going to go to 152 and tab again. So I've got both my dimensions and then I'm pressing enter. Okay, now if I zoom out using the little wheel on the mouse, that is my shape. Brilliant. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude that. So I'm going to go to 3D model and extrude, and I'm going to click on it. Now the extrusion for this, I think it's something like 75 millimeters, and I think I might keep it at 75 millimeters. One of the things I'm trying to do with this, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, is if you can alter that extrusion, I think it'll be called extrusion 1, then you can alter the height of your 3D print. So you can print it so it's really tall, say for example like 190 millimeters, or for example you might just want it a little bit taller, so maybe 80 or 85 millimeters. But for the time being, I'm going to put it in at 75. Okay, so over here I've got to put 75. There we go, and off we go. What do we got here? There we are, and we have our extrusion. So I press OK. Next up, what are we doing? Well, let's just have a quick look down here at our image. What I'm going to do next is I am going to cut out this big void in the middle, and that big void in the middle is 6 millimeters from that corner. Okay, back we up to this. I'm going to select a surface, so I'm going to go to 2D sketch, and I'm going to select that surface. I'm going to draw a square from this corner, which is 6 tab 6 tab. I'm going to draw that in. There's definitely another way of doing this. 6 tab 6 tab. And the way Mr. Inchley does it is so fast and clever, but I'm not either that clever and I don't know how to do it. So, and then I'm going to draw my square in. Okay, so I've done it in a much more rudimentary way that I'm sort of used to. And then I'm going to go to 3D model. I'm going to go to extrude, and I'm going to pop that on there. And of course, the problem is I've added to that, so I want to take away from it. So if I go down here and highlight this little icon, this cut, I can cut a hole all the way through. Can you see? Yes, not really. So let's just go up here, and there we are. So now we've got the basis of our product. Right. Next up, I'm just thinking of something else I could do. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to extrude again. So I'm going to go to 2D face. There we go. I'm going to put in here 3x3 tab 3 tab. Oh, I could be really clever and try and work out what 6 minus 102 and 6 minus 154 is. I mean, I know it's going to be something like 146 by 96. So I might as well type in those two dimensions. And then what I'm going to do is go to extrude again. I'm going to just come down on the angle on this so you can see. And I'm going to extrude that face. It's extruding out again. I'm going to extrude, it always extrudes out. I'm going to extrude 3 because that's the depth of a piece of acrylic, and I'm going to be cutting away. And so I've cut away that now, and that's where my piece of acrylic is going to go. So that is the first bit of my shape. Right, I am going to try and do something. I'm just thinking when I should do it. Try and do it now. And this is where I probably embarrass myself quite a lot because I'm going to get this wrong. Right, we're going to put a plane in this. Okay, we're going to put a plane, and we're going to put a plane in between two different faces, I think they call them. Offset mid-plane between two planes. Is that the one we're looking for? I think it probably is. So the planes I'm going to select are that one and this one. So now I have a plane exactly in the middle. What I'm going to try and do, and I'm just thinking how I've done this. I've done this before once. I'm going to try and select this extrusion, and then I think I can mirror it via that plane so I can extrude out the other side. I think that's right. Where's the mirror function? I think it's around here. Here we go. This one. I'm not too sure what to do now. So I think the feature is this, and then the mirror plane is that. There we go. Did it. There we are. So you can see what I've done. Oh, wow, how clever. And you see that I have mirrored that extrusion onto the opposite side. So I've now taken away 3mm from each side. Well, I'm very impressed with that. Right, back we go, looking down through this. And what we're going to do is we are going to put in our anchors. Now that's really simple, and I'm going to go back to the drawing just so you know where we are. Okay, we've done the outside. I'm just going to take a little slurp of tea. Right, we've done the outside, we've done the inside, we've got the step down. We now need to put in these little bits, don't we? Okay, now this is a 5mm radius radiating out from where these two lines would meet. And because we've done the depth of it at 75, the height of it at 75, and we've reduced it by 6mm, 2 times 3, we're looking at 69 as the height of this particular anchor, is what I call it, which may become a little bit clearer as I go on. Right, so what am I after? I am after 2D plane. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to draw a circle at 5. I think I have to do this. I'm going to draw 2 lines. I think I need to do this, otherwise it will just try and create a whole circle, an extrusion of a whole circle. So now it will recognize that as a segment of a circle. So I'm going to go on to the 3D model. I'm going to extrude, and I think I'm going to be able to select this. Yeah, you see I can. Otherwise, I think it would have just selected the whole thing, because it doesn't really register the lines of this this form that we've created as part of this drawing. So in the sketch at the moment, it's just, it can only see a circle, and now I've put those lines in. So I'm going to put that in, and of course what's probably happened is it extruded it positively by 3mm, because that's the, oh, we're getting all a bit lost here, aren't we? So let's try and just get back a little bit. I want to be on that one ideally, I think. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, so I want to extrude down, and I want to extrude down how many? Well, I said 69 before, and that should take me all the way down. I'm pretty sure it does, because we can see the corners are matching up. So, happy days. I've put that in. Brilliant. So I'm going to now press OK. I'm going to try again with my mirroring feature if I can. And so to do that, I need to put another plane in. The plane I'm going to put in, let's just go to planes again. So it's a plane between 2 faces, mid-plane between 2 planes. So I'm going to choose that one as one plane. I'm going to choose this one as the other plane. And I've got now my mid-plane. So now I'm going to go back to the mirror function. And I've got to be honest with you guys, I don't have an awful lot of success with this. What one is it? It's this one. Right, so feature. Oh, this hasn't gone too well, has it? Extrusion 4. mirror plane. Okay, yes, done it again. Fantastic. So I'm now, with that success in mind, going to go back onto the plane, and I'm going to go for my what is it? Plane between two plane thingy majiggy. I'm going to go to that one, and I'm going to go to this one. So I've got my mid plane. I'm now going to go back to the mirror tool, and yes, you've guessed it. I'm going to try and select both of these. Now I think I might be able. I've got to select on it. I think I might be able to select them on here. Crikey, I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, it does. I think it does. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant. So that now, of course, is are my anchors. Go to the bottom. They go all the way through. And we can see that's absolutely happy days. So I'm going back up to the top. And finally, if I can actually do this. Oh, it's all going a bit eggy, isn't it? I think I want to be on this one. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so now there is something called original geometry or something, which I haven't got. So, well, I don't know how to use it, I'll be honest with you. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go back to a sketch, and we're going to put our holes in, and I'm going to do start 2D sketch. I'm going to go to here. Now I don't think there is a point for me to grab here. There's not. But what I know is if I come 3mm by 3mm from here, I'm exactly where these two lines meet. And then if I then, wrong way, draw a line, which is, well, it's about this, isn't it? It's also at 140, 139, is that? By 100 and... It's 140 by 89. That doesn't really sound quite right. Well, I'm sure that's going to be 90. I presume that must be 140, but it sort of feels, well, it must be 140. That all seems okay, doesn't it? Right, okay, so that's where that one goes. Right, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because that then is 6, and then that then is 6, and we did, what, 152 by 102, so 6 and 6 is 12, so 102 minus 12 is 90, and 152 minus 12 is 140. So I think we're okay. Okay, I hope you followed me on this one. Right, next up, we're going to 3D model, and we're going to go to hole. And we're going to try and create a hole all the way through. I think it's all set up. I want a 2mm hole, so I'm going to change this one here to 2mm. And I think this will go all the way through. We could make it so that it was chamfered or all sorts of bits and pieces, but we're not going to. And we're going to just put it in there. 2mm hole, and hopefully that's going to go all the way through right to the bottom. And I'm going to put another one in here and another one in here. Good. Okay, done. So I can, okay. And we can see I've now gone all the way through. Brilliant. Should we look at the bottom? Oh yeah, they are. Are they going all the way through? Yes, they are. Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, okay. We're nearly there. Nearly there. Again, getting a bit lost with this. Oh, crikey. I'm going to go back to this one. This is the one I like. So that's better. All right. Is there anything else to do? Well, there is actually. I think there is a slight fillet on the inside, a radius on the inside. And I reckon that radius is about 3mm, 2.5mm in actual fact. Is that right? Do I reckon it's about 2.5? Maybe 3mm. So what you need to do is go to fillet, go to this one, and we're going to select the radius of 3mm. I'm just thinking what 3mm is. Yeah, I think it's about 3mm. Should we put 2.5 in? No, I'm going to put 3 in, I've decided. Right, I've got to select the edges. So are you watching? I'm going to select this edge, and can you see it just gives us a little radius. Now to get the correct lines, we've got to sort of go in and go out. There we go. Make sure we're zooming in nicely. Right, there we go. And also, I would like to do exactly the same on the outside. Okay, and so I'm going to grab these and I'm going to do the same here. Now, one of the reasons we haven't done a bottom on this is because it's very difficult, it's not so much these days, to print flat pieces on the 3D printer. It's much easier to build up walls, and then we can use the acrylic for the top and the bottom. Also, it takes quite a long time. It used to take a very long time. It takes quite a long time to print flat things, and it takes a lot of filament. And so we're using the acrylic in this instance. But I'm hoping and praying that your control panels that you've already designed will fit in there, and then we can change the height. So we've now come to the end of this little tutorial, and we've come to the end of making this product. So let's see if all this works. So of course, Old Town is going to say to me, well, 75 says no good. I need it to be, let's say, 100. So I think, and this is what I reckon, if we go back to extrusion 1, which is 75, and put 100 in there, and then press OK, the whole thing, oh, I'm not sure if that's worked. No, it hasn't quite worked, has it? I don't think. I'm not too sure what's happened in here, to be honest with you. Let's go and have a look. I think we might have a few problems with that. So you might have to mess around with some of the extrusion lengths. But fundamentally, I think it's quite a good tool for you to use. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll produce a new video just showing you how to manipulate it, as I think you're going to probably need that. I think what I'm going to do for the time being is just go back. So I've just gone back on that so we can see see the bottom, see the top, and all that's good. All right, cheers.